Hi, my name is Nico Vautier. I lead the solutions architecture team here in Taiwan. I've been with AWS for about 6.5 years, and the past year and a half here in Taiwan. I've worked with customers in New York City, in Los Angeles, and in Taipei. I helped a lot of them over the year. And today I want to talk to you about how I've seen them innovated at high speed with AWS. For example, how the NFL has been tracking a wide variety of data on their players for many years, and how with AWS they were able to invent something called next-gen stats, which allowed them to improve the experience of their viewers as well as the experience of their players. I also want to talk about how TSMC does engineering at scales in a way that's secure and that is automated and offer the right performance cost profile for them. I want to talk about how iRobot is connecting their entire fleet of robots using IoT core and sending data that is then leveraged to run analytics and machine learning in the cloud. And also how Foxconn, we started doing IC design leveraging SOCA or scale-out computing on AWS, which is essentially allowing our customer to deploy all the architectural components needed to create a scale-out design and engineering workflow. In turn, this has allowed Foxconn to dramatically shorten their deployment process. There are three pillars to my presentation today. First, I want to talk about how Amazon innovate. A lot of our customers are asking us about this, so I want to address a few points on how we do things internally at AWS. Secondly, I want to talk about 8 keys to reinvention that we've identified the most successful customers all implement. And finally, I'll close with some AI ML services that are bringing a ton of value and the latest innovation to our customers. So let's get started and let's talk a little bit about how we innovate at Amazon. And to prove how we innovate, I wanted to show you some of the product that we've pushed over the years. Amazon started in 1994, and in 1995, we started selling books online. And then our customer told us, hey, we would like to purchase all the things in books. That's why in 1998, we introduced CDs and DVDs. And then later on, when we realized that we were pretty good at running data centers, we pushed AWS onto the market. And in 2006, we started offering cloud services to our customers. Nobody had heard of the cloud before AWS, Amazon inventing the cloud. And then over the year, we've improved our understanding of customers, and we've introduced a whole new number of services, including Amazon Go, which if you've had the chance to experience, or if you get the chance to experience, it's pretty amazing. I've been to Amazon Go myself, Amazon Go stores myself. You walk in, scan your phone, pick up whatever you want, and then you walk out. That's it. You do not need to talk to anybody. You can just walk in and out, 20 seconds, you've picked up your lunch, or you've done your shopping. So how do we do innovation? How do we constantly bring new innovation to the market? Well, let's hear from Jeff. Jeff Bezos is our founder, and he says this. He says, customers are always beautifully, wonderfully dissatisfied, even when they report being happy and business is great. And I think one of the key elements, one of the most important things that we do at Amazon is being customer obsessed, is always looking for our customers' interest or our customers' business outcome. So that sounds great, and it's really true in our culture, but how does it work exactly? Well, I think it pertains to 4 ways we organize ourselves for innovation. First is mechanism. For example, the working backward process, which starts from our customers in order to make sure that we're building the right thing for customers, that we are customer obsessed from the very beginning of any idea. And then the architecture, because you need to give builders an architecture platform and a robust set of tools that they can use that frees them up from any kind of inhibition. At Amazon, there's no line to wait for storage, compute, databases, or to start using machine learning. And that totally changing the game. It changes how the organization is managing its cycles, how the amount of cycles employee can spend on innovation, because they know that if they have an idea, they have a chance to see it work. And then the culture, we hire builders. And by that, I mean people that like to invent, people who like to look at different customer experience and assess what's wrong with them and reinvent them. And people who get that people who get that launch is the starting line, not the finish line. And then finally, from an organization standpoint, I think we have a number of mechanisms. But one of the things that I think is key to the way we organize is that we make failure part of our culture. There's no failure there's no invention without failure. They are inseparable twins. To invent, you have to experiment. And if you already know the outcome of an experiment, whether it's going to work or not, then you're not inventing. The one key thing that I want to bring up is our 14 leadership principles. Every Amazonian embraces the leadership principle. They're not just something that looks good behind a reception desk. They're actually a tool for us. There are 14 of them, and every single time we have meetings, and believe me, I have a lot of meetings, every single time we have a meeting, we refer to those leadership principles. We'll say things like, I think we need to dive deep on this problem, or we need to have more bias for action. We need to do something right now. And then we'll say, is this really customer obsessed? Are we really doing the right thing for the customer? Those leadership principles are key to our success. And if you're not familiar with them, I would strongly encourage you to read them, because they're quite fascinating in how simple they are, yet how effective they are. Another big part of our success is the working backward process. And in short, the working backward process is how we write a press release before we even write a single line of code. How we put ourselves in the future and in the shoes of our customers. And we write a document that explains how a product works. And once we've done that, once we've written that document, we then read it and we review it together. And this panel reads allows us to refine our understanding of the future product we're looking to build and refine our understanding of the value that we will bring to customers. The working backward process is probably one of the most fundamental mechanisms that you will find at Amazon. And then a favorite of mine is the concept of 2 pizza teams. We build small, fast, agile, autonomous teams. And we call them 2 pizza teams because we want the teams to be able to feed on only 2 pizzas. So there's usually 6 to 8, or around 6 to 8 people in the team. Those teams make their own technology choices, but they also own what they build, right? So if something goes wrong, they are the ones that are going to get the pager on the phone. It allows us to be more agile and to build faster for our customers. And then we give those builders a suite of products. The breadth and the depth of the AWS platform allows anybody at Amazon, not just AWS, but anybody at Amazon, to get their idea done quickly. That platform, of course, is available to our customers, and that's why we're here today. Second, I want to talk about 8 keys to reinvention. And I'm going to steal some of the ideas that Andy Jassy, our CEO, talked about at reInvent 2020. reInvent is our yearly conference. It was online last year. And the idea is essentially to share ideas with customers, to share training. It's a big party for us at AWS. And in this keynote, in his main talk, Andy talked about 8 keys to reinvent. And the first key was that leadership needs to be willing to invent and reinvent. You need, in your organization, leaders to know what is going on in their industry, to listen to their team, and to dive deep to understand the big trends. And once they have that, once they have understood the deep trends, they have to acknowledge that you cannot fight gravity, that things will change whether you like it or not. If they bring value to customer, they will change. Take the example of Netflix. Several years ago, they cannibalized their own business by offering streaming because they knew that streaming was coming. They knew that streaming was bringing so much value to customers. Third, you need a talent that's hungry to invent. Oftentimes, it is when you bring new people into a company that new things happen. And it's not to say that the old people, the people that have been here for a while, are not capable, but it's rather that it is incredibly hard to rip off something that you've built before, redo a system maybe that you've built before. 4, solve real customer problems. We see a lot of customers that do things because it's a cool technology or because their competitors are doing it. But what do your customers really want? Ultimately, any business in the world need to be customer focused, need to understand what their customers want. 5 is speed. It matters at all stages of businesses, no matter the size of the customers. You have to set up a culture of speed. Speed is not a button you can push and things happen magically faster. You cannot just turn a switch to that. You have to build a muscle to do it. And that takes some time, and it needs to be part of the culture. 6, do not complexify. I see personally a lot of customers that start innovating by working with multiple vendors, including multiple cloud vendor, because they like the storage of that vendor, they like the compute of that vendor, and they like the database of that vendor. Unfortunately, I see that as a slowing factor for innovation. My customers that are the most successful are the ones that stick to one cloud and go all the way. And by the way, 7, you're better off using the platform with the broadest and deepest set of tools. If you go with the planner with the most capabilities, it makes it easier to migrate your application and enable your builders to build. And then 8, pull everything together with aggressive top-down goals. Now, about 10 years ago, the CIO of GE decided that her organization would move 50 applications within 30 days. And she was told that it was crazy. People didn't believe that they could do it. And guess what? They did migrate 42 applications within 30 days. And in the process, they figured out security and governance. They figured out their muscles to migrate onto the cloud. And this is what that success built momentum that allowed them to migrate 9,000 applications in a few years. Setting an aggressive top-down goals forces your builders to understand that speed is of the matters. And notice that those things are not technical. Most of them are really organizational and cultural. Now let's move on to our services, the AWS services. And the first thing I want to say is that we have customers across all industries and all sizes. I have met over 100 Taiwanese customers over the past 1.5 years, from the most innovative startup all the way to the larger enterprises that are moving fast. And I love how Taiwanese customers are embracing cloud, how they're embracing innovation. It is a true statement in the innovation and entrepreneurial mindset that stems from this Taiwanese customer. So I've been loving my time here. It's been a lot of fun. And one of the things that those customers recognize is that AWS has more services and more features within those services than any other cloud vendors, and by a large amount. We've been continuously expanding our services to support virtually any cloud workload, and we now have more than 200 fully featured services covering storage, compute, databases, networking, analytics, robotics, machine learning and artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and many others. Today, I want to talk a little bit about machine learning and how we look at machine learning at AWS. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the 3 tiers of our services. At the bottom layer that you see on my slide here, you'll see what we call our frameworks and infrastructure. Those services are for deep machine learning scientists who understand their framework, wants to have a refined control over what framework they're using and what hardware they're using and so forth. So we're offering them and we're supporting a number of those frameworks. In the middle layers are machine learning scientists that are looking to optimize some of their processes and don't want to reinvent the wheel over and over again. And this is where SageMaker, which I'll be talking in a second, is bringing a lot of value to those customers. The top layer is what we call the AI services, the artificial intelligence services. The goal of the services is to offer artificial intelligence at the cost of a click, based on API. Our customers could do image recognition, text recognition, text-to-speech, speech-to-text, translation, and many other things just using an API. They do not need to know artificial intelligence. It is opening the door to artificial intelligence and machine learning to any developer that want to use it. So like I said, I want to dive into machine learning. I want to dive into SageMaker. SageMaker is a machine learning platform, and a machine learning platform is something that you can certainly build yourself. But the problem is that they're complex to build and they are complex to evolve. So we see a lot of customers that are building that platform, but they are incurring high operational costs and they are cumulative technical debt. And frankly, that platform doesn't make a whole difference to the ML use case. Right? They're going through the pain of managing that infrastructure, but it doesn't make a huge difference in the quality of their use case. That's why we built SageMaker. SageMaker offers a number of benefits. Here are 3 of them. It scales. It enables linear scaling with minimal config changes, so you can run your model over hundreds of instances. Second, it's agile. It offers a consistent platform that allows our customers, to implement the capabilities such as distributed training, HPO, and autopilot. And third, it cuts operational costs. Data scientists do not need to wait around to monitor or schedule jobs, and they don't need to manage undifferentiated infrastructure management tasks, which again, don't bring a whole lot of value to customer. For that reason, Gartner has recognized AWS as a leader in cloud AI developer services, and that is because SageMaker is such a game-changing service. Take the example of Rich Tech. They've been leveraging SageMaker to speed up their testing process and provide more testing data points to enhance data design quality. Our professional service team help them create an anomaly detection solution that achieve a 90% accuracy rate. Another service I wanted to talk about is Amazon Fraud Detector. It allows developers with any level of ML expertise to leverage the experience of Amazon to detect fraud and address those threats faster. Think about it. Amazon.com has been doing retail for close to 25 years now. We know a thing or two about fraud detection, and we've been doing fraud detection for many, many years. That experience is what we use to build Amazon Fraud Detectors. GoDaddy is an e-commerce vendor looking for a way to prevent fraudulent accounts by bolstering their fraud detection capability during account sign-up. So they like the Amazon Fraud Detector offering of a self-service approach to building and deploying a machine learning model customized to their business, as well as low cost of implementation. So the model can detect likely fraudulent accounts at the time of account sign-up, and more importantly, without impeding the creation of legitimate accounts. Here's another service for you. Amazon Code Guru, which recommends how to remediate issues across source code on running application. It is the first fully managed service that helps proactively improve code quality and optimize performance. It is like having an expert developer doing a code review for you. It leverages machine learning models and best practices informed by years of experience and data from Amazon.com and AWS to find wide-ranging issues in source code, such as the use of unsanitized inputs, inappropriate handling of sensitive data, or thread safety issues and deviation from best practices. Atlassian uses it, and Zach Islam, the head of engineering, said this: "When we detect anomalies in production, we've been able to reduce investigation time from days to hours and sometimes minutes, thanks to AWS Code Guru's continuous profiling features. Our developers now focus more of their energy on delivering differentiated capabilities and less time investigating problems in our production environment." And I think the head of engineering for Atlassian here is encapsulating a true value of the cloud, or true value of the AWS cloud, which is that it allows developers to focus on delivering differentiated capabilities and less time on things that frankly don't matter to customers. With Amazon Personalize, you get out of the box solution to foundational use case for personalization. You can use these capabilities for generating a broad array of personalized user experience. So you'll train your recommendation engine in a few clicks, and you'll be able to generate recommendation for almost any kind of product or content, and adapt those changes to customers' intent in real time. Here's another service that just came out of our last event. AWS Panorama is an appliance. You can make use of this video coming from your existing IP camera. The appliance will detect your existing IP cameras on your network, and thanks to its integrated NVIDIA Xavier AGX GPU, it will do things like performing face detection and person detection for physical access control. It can track whether or not people are wearing personal protective equipment like facial masks, but it can also count crowds or track a person's path. A truly differentiated appliance for traditional companies that maybe have existing IP cameras. Then here is a favorite service of mine. Amazon Monitor is really one of my personal favorites. It is an end-to-end ML-based equipment monitoring system to enable predictive maintenance. So you stick those little devices on your equipment, and they will send vibration and temperature data onto the AWS cloud. And then we will use this data to notify you in the companion app on your phone if something doesn't look right. It is a quick way for manufacturers maybe to build a predictive maintenance system. So it's going to be useful for a lot of equipments like pumps, fans, gearboxes, motors, and so forth. Anything that spins and vibrates by nature, Monitor will be able to help you with in terms of predictive maintenance. Now, I want to thank you for your time. We have teams in Taipei that can help you design, build, deploy the most innovative solution to accelerate the innovation in your business. So here's my email address. Please do reach out to me. Let's start a conversation and let's see how we can help you. Thanks again, and thanks to the good folks of Foxconn for putting this event together. Thank you.